If you've ever held a camera that made you instantly feel like you were holding the future, then you already know exactly what the Nikon Z8 is meant to be. A tool, yes. A machine, yes. But also something more. Something that doesn't just capture moments. It commands them. Because today we're talking about a camera that changed the conversation in photography and filmmaking. A camera that made professionals raise their eyebrows, made other brands uncomfortable, and made Nikon fans say, finally. This is the Nikon Z8. But the story we're about to tell isn't just about specs and features. This is the story of why the Z8 became one of the most talked about cameras in the world. Why creators love it, why filmmakers trust it, why photographers rely on it, and why it feels like the spiritual successor of something big. So wherever you are, sit back, settle in, and keep listening. Because once you understand the Z8, you'll see why many people say it's not just a camera, it's a statement. Let's start with a simple image. Imagine a camera that takes the power of a flagship, the Nikon Z9, and compresses it, shrinks it, refines it, makes it lighter, faster, more flexible, more accessible. Not a stripped-down version, not a budget edition, but a flagship in a smaller body. That's the Z8. But how do we get here? How did Nikon go from a company people thought was falling behind to a company delivering powerhouse cameras that push the industry forward? Well, to understand the Z8, we need to rewind. Years ago, Nikon made DSLRs that were legends. Cameras like the D850, tools that defined a generation of photographers. Cameras that had soul, reliability, and a look that made every shot feel alive. But then mirrorless happened. Sony took the lead. Canon jumped in. The industry shifted fast, and Nikon suddenly looked like the quiet kid in the back of the class. But while people doubted them, Nikon was planning something big, something bold, something that would shake the industry. First came the Z6 and Z7, important steps, but not the revolution. Then came the Z9, the camera that shut everyone up. And once the Z9 proved Nikon still knew how to innovate, people started asking the next question. When will Nikon release a smaller version? And Nikon answered with the Z8. Now, if you've never handled a Z8, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine picking up a camera that feels lighter than you expect, yet somehow more solid than you expect. A camera that feels like it's made from one piece of metal. A camera where every dial, button, and grip feels intentional, refined, and engineered, not rushed. You lift it, it locks into your hand. It becomes an extension of your arm, an extension of your vision, an extension of your mind. That's the feeling Z8 owners talk about. Not the era that makes people say, I don't have to worry about my gear anymore. I just need to shoot. And that's a rare thing in the tech world. Now, let's talk about something people often forget when comparing cameras. Emotion. Yes, emotion. Because photography and video aren't just technical tasks. They're emotional. They're human. They're about capturing something you feel, something you see, something you want to remember. A good camera gives you control. A great camera gives you confidence. But a legendary camera, that gives you emotion. And many creators say the Z8 does exactly that. When they shoot with it, it feels like the camera wants to help them, wants to anticipate their moves, wants them to win. It's a tool that disappears, so your creativity can appear. But let's go deeper. Why is the Nikon Z8 such a big deal in the US? Why did it make waves in the entire content creation world? Simple. It hits the sweet spot. Professionals want performance. Travelers want mobility. Photographers want detail. Filmmakers want reliability. Hybrid shooters want balance. And budget-conscious creators want flagship results without flagship cost. The Z8 sits right in the middle of all of that. It's like Nikon asked, what if we take 90% of what makes the Z9 a monster and put in a body people can actually carry? And then they did it. Now imagine this. It's golden hour. You're standing on a rooftop. The sky is glowing orange, blue, and purple all at once. You raise the Z8 to your eye. The world becomes quiet. You half-press the shutter, and the autofocus locks on instantly. Your subject looks sharp, alive, timeless. You take the shot, and, without even checking the screen, it's perfect. That's the kind of confidence this camera gives you. Or imagine this. You're filming handheld in a busy American city. Cars passing, crowds moving, streetlights flickering. You move through the chaos with the Z8 in your hand. The stabilization keeps the shot steady. The colors stay beautiful. The autofocus sticks through everything. You walk into a dim alley, no problem. You move in a bright sunlight, still no problem. The Z8 adapts. Instantly. Silently. Like a machine that understands you. Now let's talk about the most underrated part of the Z8. It's future-proof. This is not a camera you'll replace in a year. Not a camera that will age quickly. It already has more power than many creators can fully use. It already produces quality far beyond what most screens can display. It's a camera built for now, and for the next 5, 10, even 15 years. Because sometimes the best gear isn't the newest. It's the gear that's built to last. And the Z8 feels like that. Like a modern classic in the making. Now let's address something important. Who is the Nikon Z8 really for? It's for the travel photographer who wants the freedom of a light body with heavy performance. For the filmmaker who needs a camera that won't overheat or glitch during a long shoot. For the wedding photographer who can't afford mistakes. For the wildlife shooter who needs speed and accuracy. For the portrait artist who cares about color and skin tones. For the hybrid creator who wants one device to do everything. It's for the people who create and need a camera that keeps up. But more importantly, it's for the people who are tired of compromises. Because the Z8 doesn't compromise. It performs. Now, here's the part that ties everything together. The Z8 isn't just a camera. It's Nikon's message to the world. A message that says, we're not done. We're not fading. We're not behind. We are here, and we're still building the future. The Z8 proves Nikon listens to creators. Proves they understand what professionals need. Proves they can innovate without losing the soul that made Nikon great. And the truth is, when you pick up a Nikon Z8, you don't just feel the present of photography. You feel the past. You feel the future. You feel a legacy compressed into a body that feels almost too good to be real. So whether you're a filmmaker, a photographer, a hybrid shooter, or someone just dreaming of your next camera, the Nikon Z8 is a reminder of what a great tool can be. Powerful, beautiful, reliable, inspiring. A camera that helps you capture not just images, but stories. Not just videos, but experiences. Not just footage, but memories. And that is why the Nikon Z8 is one of the most respected, admired, and loved cameras in the world today.